Hello and welcome to lesson number 5, where we learn about objects. Now, objects in JavaScript are, I think, pretty easy to understand, and it all starts from properties. A property is an association between a name and a value. For example, color equals red. That's a property. Properties can also have functions as values, in which case those properties are called methods, but we'll come back to that. Now, objects are collections of properties, plain and simple. So let's have a look at how you can create an object, how you can access it, and all that good stuff. To create an object, you start, of course, with a variable, and let's call this a variable person. And we're going to say new object. That's one way to create it. Another way is to create, let's say, car equals curly brackets. So just like arrays, where we used square brackets to create them, or the syntax new array, objects we use new object and curly brackets instead of square brackets. And what you can do now is start adding properties to these objects. So for example, person, what could we want to know about that person? We want to know its name, its age, maybe its height, right? So you can say person dot name equals, let's say, James. Person dot age equals, I don't know, 43. Person dot height equals 1.76. And actually this should be a number instead of a string. And we can also say person dot married equals true. So now if we type person in our terminal here, we get an object with name, age, height, married set to the values you just saw. You can also access these properties in the following way. Person, square brackets, and then inside double quotes, the name of the property. Person name equals, let's change this to Kirk. Refresh. And now if we bring up person, it's going to give me Kirk for its name. And that's how you can access these properties and also how to change these properties. Both syntaxes are valid, but probably the dot followed by the name of the property is the easiest one to use. Now, you can use objects inside objects in the way that an object is the value for a property. So for example, if I add another property here called car, or let's not confuse it with this one here. Let's just delete this. Yeah. So I'm going to say person.car equals a new object. And then I can go and say person.car.make equals Honda, for example. Right? So now if I recall person, it gives me this object. And if I do person.car, it gives me another object. And if I do person.car.make, it gives me Honda. So this is how you can access these object properties, even if they're embedded in one another. Now, you can also define these properties when you first initialize an object. So for example, let's delete this, and I can say var person equals, and I can specify it like this, name, Adi, age, 30. Notice the syntax here is a little bit different. So now when I access person, I get this object. As I was saying in the beginning, objects can also have methods, and a method is simply a property that has a function as its value. But we didn't learn about functions just yet, so there's no point in me talking about object methods right now. What I gave you right here are the basics of objects. how you can create them, how you can use them, how you can access their various properties. And with objects, we've actually completed all 7 data types in JavaScript. Now, coming up in the next lesson, we'll learn about the available operators in JavaScript. See you there.